Hello, Bartek from Road Racing here. I extend a warm welcome to all of you, and today I'm presenting a video that will outline the things that can truly drive a cyclist to distraction. I'm the kind of person that when I go out on my bicycle and something creaks, skips gears or knocks, that's it. Game over. There's absolutely no riding then, it's just dwelling on what occurred and inspecting it. I don't fix it on the road, I do it at home, and if I can't cope, I take it to a bike shop. And it has to be a good trusted shop where I know the bike mechanics are truly top class, like Wojtek and his colleague here. I sometimes use other excellent shops too, like the one at BMC in Wrocław. But I often figure out the solutions myself because after so many years, the same problems tend to repeat. It's not an endless list of problems. Issues that you might come across. These problems are associated with the creaking seat post, and indeed they are quite common. These issues can arise on practically any bicycle equipped with a fixed seat post. That's how Ridley has its seat post secured. I didn't have these issues with this one, but I did with another bicycle I was testing, a Giant. And it's not a defect with the bicycle, I want you to understand that clearly. These kinds of creaking problems are less likely to occur on a Pinarello or a BMC, which secure the seat post from the back right here. Those systems are a little more resistant to such issues. However, the very popular wedge clamp, which is located precisely in this spot, is often quite prone to creaking. And why does it make that creaking sound? I'll tell you all about it shortly. In the meantime, I highly recommend our upcoming Predator gravel race, which is fast approaching. Around 100 signed up, we usually get about 200, 220. It's a fantastically organized event with a marked route that's both fast and easy to navigate. This route is ideal for highly skilled competitors. We're expecting a significant team from Womatek to be present. Perhaps Valbet will make an appearance to challenge the other guys there. 2 of these cyclists are elite cyclists, so we have no such restrictions. They're welcome to compete. We'll see how it goes on the long-distance gravel riding course. Nevertheless, 90% of this route consists of well-maintained gravel roads within the forest, as the forestry district actually improved a long section that previously had numerous potholes. It's truly excellent there now. The gravel roads are very well maintained. But there are also some dirt tracks, and there's the smooth operator segment, which is the section leading to the heathland. A beautiful heathland. If you've never seen something like that in person, it's worth coming just for that. And the smooth operator segment and the contest for a truly unique cup, as they are not sold anywhere. You can't simply purchase a smooth operator cup crafted from Bolesławiec ceramics because that's precisely what it is. It carries a unique cultural connection with Formula One and with a particular cyclist, you see. With the driver Carlos Sainz, who became associated with that song because his technical driving is simply phenomenal. And they created all sorts of hit songs where he was integral to it all, and even those from his paddock, while radioing commands to him on the track, pulled a prank, inserting a brief audio clip, Carlos, smooth, P1, signifying you are indeed in first place. Just drive smoothly now, right? I really like that part. I saw the Formula One race last year at the Hungaroring, an amazing event, and I decided to implement that into Predator gravel. And why shouldn't I? Go big or go home. For all the beginner cyclists, it's a huge opportunity to try gravel riding in a safe environment and get a medal for participating. There are great refreshment stops on the route and in the race village. And what's up for grabs? You can also win a set of DT Swiss wheels in the contest. We also have the Polish Championships for journalists and digital creators. 2 have signed up. I cordially invite you all. It's a fantastic chance to meet up and win a truly top-of-the-line computer. Okay, let's get back to our topic, back to it. And a reminder to subscribe, comment, and do all the other things that help this video. Thank you so much for the great views on the last video, and let's get back to business. So what's truly the problem here? The problem lies in this wedge clamp sometimes having a rather irregular shape. It consists of 2 parts, but sometimes it looks a little different and fits into a kind of carbon fiber pocket. Even when it's tightened, it moves ever so slightly, and during a ride, the seat post is never entirely still. Only minimal movements are possible here. When operating within this frame, it sometimes produces terrible sounds. It's common practice for cyclists to always apply carbon paste where aluminum and carbon fiber meet, especially at their contact points. Well, believe me, if you were to apply carbon paste to the front of this wedge clamp, on the side facing the bike frame as it sits inside the frame, not the seat post side but the front, you'll merely exacerbate the issue at hand, leading to an intensification of those discernible sounds. it will operate even less effectively. The proper method, which is also detailed in bicycle owners' manuals, I verified this information earlier today before filming this particular video, just to ensure I had some confirmation directly from the manufacturer that indeed manufacturers do highly recommend this procedure, is to apply a small quantity of carbon paste, specifically at the back of the wedge, right where it meets the seat post. And on the front, a small amount of grease. That's what I did with that Giant. It was here for testing, and the issue was resolved instantly with no further problems. Then, thanks to that extremely thin film, if you will, of low friction grease, it perfectly settles into its position, and significantly, it no longer emits those unwanted sounds, ensuring a smooth and silent operation just as intended. It's done exactly as it should be. I even saw in the bicycle owners' manuals that manufacturers specifically recommend that you remove it every 6 months, clean it thoroughly, wipe it down, and then repeat this entire procedure to ensure it doesn't make any creaking sounds. When it starts making a creaking sound, it's truly an unpleasant and quite loud noise. And now here's a helpful tip on how to identify if this is indeed the problem you're facing. That it could be this. Not necessarily, but it could be. If you're encountering any issues concerning your seat post, always dismount the saddle while riding. That is, stand on the pedals and cycle for about 100 meters. If it's quiet, that's fine. Sit back down on the saddle. If those sounds return, it's definitely something with the seat post, the wedge, or the clamp itself. So that's one way you can check it, because this whole process of eliminating sounds, hunting down and ruling out potential causes to find the actual culprit, that's a daily reality for many of us cyclists as we constantly battle these slight issues with our bikes. Indeed, this struggle is a common experience among many of us cyclists. And this is a rather simple, very straightforward, and quite obvious matter. This information is typically found within the owner's manuals that come with bicycles. Of course, I have bicycles with integrated cockpits right here in front of me. Nothing at all changes in that regard. We still apply carbon paste in numerous areas. For example, exactly here at the stem handlebar junction. This is absolutely the proper place to apply this specific carbon paste. Nothing changes here, but always remember to periodically replace the carbon paste. It wears out too. Pinarello also provides some recommendations for cleaning and replacing this specific paste, but generally not much else really happens here. And there's this other topic, but it's actually not officially included in the maintenance sections of most bicycle owners' manuals. Why is that? Because those manuals include things that affect safety and critical components that could lead to damaging the bicycle frame, compromising your safety, and so on. So all these things concerning the use of wedges in handlebars, torque settings, and so forth are to prevent anything from being damaged and to properly assemble the bike. But bicycle maintenance also comprises a multitude of nuances, those subtle little issues that periodically surface. And when they do, your own solutions often prove logically sound and effective, even if they're not explicitly detailed within the bicycle owner's manuals. And let's consider this as unofficial advice based on the fact that it personally helped me. It might not help you, and it's definitely not necessary for every bike. Please understand it that way. You absolutely don't have to do this. This has helped me in a certain way, and for me, it has proven to be effective. And this concerns the type of saddle clamps found on Ridley and Pinarello bikes, specifically those that are based on a 2-bolt system. This is an exceptionally effective clamping system. To me, it's truly among the best out there. It's not exactly super convenient because using it, which I'll go into detail about shortly, requires a certain level of expertise. There are simpler systems, but those simpler systems have their own drawbacks. On Factor bikes, for instance, and I'm not saying I dislike Factor. Factor is a company like any other. Some things they do well, others less so. This isn't exclusive to Factors. Canyons are the same. When it comes to the saddle clamp, it's a single bolt clamp with 2 little cups that squeeze from both sides. The advantage of this thing is that once you tighten it, it's rock solid. It is absolutely rock solid. It won't budge even a fraction of a tenth of a degree. The saddle won't tilt forward or backward. However, to adjust that tilt, you can't simply loosen the bolt, make the adjustment, and then tighten it back up again. Instead, you have to take apart and put back together the seat clamp, and only then can you tighten it. Something similar also applies to Canyon bicycles. I personally experienced this on my Canyon, this particular kind of situation, and it's also true for the Factor bikes. This is due to its precise machining and perfect craftsmanship, which means tightening the bolt secures it permanently. And just to adjust the saddle tilt angle, we need to completely disassemble everything once more, then reassemble it, being careful not to mess it up, or we'll be starting the job from scratch again. So as you can see, these other solutions don't always work. The solutions with screws in the back, and the effectiveness of these types of solutions can also vary quite a bit, you know. I really must admit that Trek has a very good solution. Despite the fact that these seat posts appear complicated, their operation is truly perfect. Yeah, so what exactly is the situation concerning this particular matter? How does such a mounting mechanism work? It functions by balancing the tightening force of the front and rear screws, which are positioned before and after the clamp. It's the same situation with this bicycle and also with that one. Now, for you to secure it properly and be able to ride it, you should, depending on the specific type of this seat post, because in the case of the Pinarello, there's an additional complication. The front seat post typically has a lower torque setting compared to the rear. Additionally, the front screw often utilizes a standard box end wrench, as opposed to an Allen key. Am I right? Yes, that's exactly it. And I don't possess an Allen key that operates with box end wrenches, so I'm simply estimating it visually. But what if everything is dry? If this clamp, especially in the Pinarello, is made of titanium, which, being 3D printed like this example, is a rather rough metal, it doesn't have that mirror-like finish. This leads to a considerable amount of friction between the seat post and that small cradle, causing significant resistance. What exactly does this cause? You could tighten the back to 9 Newton meters while the front might only be at 3. And there you have it. The torque at the back keeps increasing, making it unevenly tightened. So how does this end? You're riding along the road. You hit the very first bump. You'll hit the saddle hard with your rear end. Your saddle will slightly slip. Instead of going 1 or 2 clicks down, it's at 0.6. And that's precisely how it works. In essence, to ensure a more uniform tightening process for both the front and rear sections, I've personally adopted the method of applying an extremely thin layer, just a minuscule film really, of low friction grease directly under that specific clamp mechanism. This clever little trick significantly aids in achieving that desired even distribution. And this causes absolutely no issues. It simply enables the clamp to shift with relative fluidity when pressure is applied from one side or the other, rather than seizing up, becoming fixed by a single screw, and then unexpectedly coming loose while you're riding, causing your saddle to shift out of place. It may seem like a minor thing, but I'm certain there are mechanics out there who can tighten it perfectly dry, and it will hold up just fine. However, this component can also occasionally start to make sounds. It is definitely a much smaller problem than those problematic wedges that are present in these specific types of frames. Right, as I've been emphasizing, nothing's actually happening with this one. There were some brief problems with it, but I managed to fix them using this clever solution. And don't be afraid that adding even a minimal amount of grease there will cause it to shift, because that component isn't meant to immobilize this entire structure. Instead, it's these two screws that are supposed to balance each other with their force. And just a minimal amount, literally a tiny dab on your fingertip to grease it, and it will truly function in a significantly different way. Otherwise, what often happens is that as you keep tightening, the torque will increase, but the saddle's angle truly doesn't change because it's already seized or stuck fast. So this is, of course, as I emphasize, this is just my experience. This isn't official advice to implement on your bikes. Generally, always adhere to the manufacturer's recommendations, as they are the guarantors for your bikes. And as I emphasize, not every single procedure relating to bicycles is described in the user manuals. They just aren't, because otherwise the user manuals would simply be 300 pages long. But actually, they simply describe here how to assemble it correctly and properly. But sometimes practical experience reveals little tricks and helpful tips, like how to deal with. Like, for instance, tubeless wheel setups. Nobody writes about using dish soap in tire manuals or other clever solutions and methods we employ to properly seal it, to get the tire to seat, or even suggest doing it with 2 people. Such things aren't written down, it's simply your practice. And this system is the same. I still think these 2 screw systems are good. Thomson, among others, makes seat posts like these. There's this one company. Back when I was really into MTB, I used to ride a Thomson seat post. The torque values for tightening both of those screws are very low. And I'm certain there are bike mechanics, true professionals, experts. I know some really excellent bike mechanics, true professionals, who can certainly manage this without that grease. However, if you apply just a tiny bit of that low friction grease, the operation of this little metal cradle, whether it's made of aluminum or as seen here on the Pinarello titanium, will become significantly smoother. I've used it, and believe me, I weigh enough that I'm able to test effective testing. It works and the bike stays firmly in place. So I'm sharing this small detail with you. And for the third time, I'll emphasize this is not a recommendation for your bikes, just a description of what I experienced. Should you ever encounter a similar situation, you might want to consider employing this particular kind of effective solution. Okay, I also want to remind you, of course, about our channel partners offers and the Evenlight wheel manufacturer. Recently, we had an unpleasant situation at a race. My brother, going for second place in his category, well, he had an accident. He and other guys were on the ground. It started mid-race, and Maciek was riding already close to the barriers. He almost saved himself, but what's my point? He had purchased his wheels quite normally from Evenlight with their protector warranty system. And now one of those wheels will be rebuilt because it hit the barrier straight on. The rim is practically perforated right through, and that's a compelling reason to order your wheels from Evenlight without a doubt. Such a warranty and level of service, that really is a great thing. These wheels are definitely proven. I have them on my own bikes, and I even have a spare set for my gravel bike, which are also Evenlight. Plus, my BMC is equipped with the Evenlight 50s, the ones with carbon spokes, so I truly recommend checking them out. All right, I hope you found this slightly more technical episode enjoyable too. I personally like this kind of stuff because I often look for some advice of this tutorial-like type on how to do something right here on YouTube. That's exactly what YouTube was created for. These were the first videos it had. It wasn't crazy dances and wild antics right away. At first, it was exactly these kinds of videos. All right, that's all from me. Thank you very much, everyone. Tonight at 8 p.m., there's another bike selection session, so I'm quickly uploading this video to the channel, and then I'll get ready for that session, where once again, for one of you, just like every day at 8 p.m., I will custom fit a bike just like the finest suit. Hey there.